You see, we are created in a magnificent vibration, in an absolutely magnificent vibration. Born risk takers. Free. That conditioning takes place after birth. You can change it. It takes guts. It takes goals. Now, do you know something? You're sitting there watching this and you're thinking, my God, I'm going to change something. Now we say, keep reminding yourself that you have tremendous reservoirs of potential within you, and therefore you are quite capable of doing anything you set your mind to. You really can. I don't care what the cynics tell you. Quit listening to some of your peers. Now all you must do is figure out how you can do it, not whether you can or not. When are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? You've got to create a sense of urgency. I'm going to do it right now.
If you can see it, you can do it. But the beautiful truth is you can do anything. We got to know there is a place. There is a specific frequency. And if you get on that frequency, you're going to attract what you need to you. This is what it's all about. Why have you been endowed with such awesome powers? If you'll make a committed decision, this I'm going to do. And you don't have to know how. You do not have to know how. The second you make the committed decision, you flip your brain onto the frequency that you have to be on to attract what you have to attract to manifest the thing that you want. If you can see it, you can do it. It's got to be something you want. Wants come from inside. Act like you're already there. Walk, talk, speak, live like you're already there. Don't set a small goal. Don't set something that doesn't really wind your step. Set it so big it jazzes you. It really gets you going. When something of a very high nature resonates with the very high side of you, you'll know it. You'll know it. You will feel it. Feeling is conscious awareness of vibration. The only prerequisite, do you want it? Not do you need it, not could you do it. The only prerequisite is, do you want it? Take the lid off your marvelous mind and dream. For goodness sake, give yourself the right to do that. Get your analytical mind out of the way. Put it in your pocket for a while. All you're doing is exploring, daydreaming. What did Lawrence say? All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their mind wakened the day to find that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act their dream with open eyes to make it possible. This I did.
Hey guys, welcome to FHL episode 77. You can probably hear my voice has gone a little bit. Hopefully it'll be back better next week. And of course, this is about creating momentum for 2025. So we're nearly at the end of 2024. I don't know whether you reached your goals. I didn't really get to mine. I don't know if Joey got his. We'll get to Joey in a minute. But I know Joey did something, not last week, but the week before, which actually I think was the first time anybody's ever done anything like this, certainly in the network marketing space, which I think did see good results. I don't want him to tell everybody what he did because I want him to keep it a secret for himself, because what he did was fantastic and it was really, really good. But look, Joey, jump on and say hello.
Hey, good day. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Joey Makaunga here from Sydney, Australia. Always a pleasure and a blessing to be on this time in Australia, and also having my good friend Mike McClellan all the way from Ireland to be on the mix, and also to be around to share some value and share our story with the world. And Mike, I hope you will get better soon. I had that experience last week, but slowly start to getting better. I feel you. brother. I felt the same way, but I take my hat to you because you show up tonight and still make it happen. So I'm looking forward
I appreciate that. And I was lying in bed yesterday and the day before, and all I'm thinking is, there's only health. There's only health. Do you know what I mean? I'm not thinking about being sick. I'm thinking about being healthy.
Yes.
But look, that's all I can do. And of course, there's other physical things that I can do. The amount of water I've consumed over the last 48 hours is unbelievable. Do you know what I mean? Like, to be honest, Joey, like I felt my lips were fraying. Like I was dehydrating, all the time. It was just unbelievable. But anyway, listen, don't forget, like, subscribe, share, click that notification button, and you'll see when Joey and I are on, usually around about the same time every week. And of course, this is really about personal development, with a lifestyle plan or a business plan, whatever it is that you want. And do reach out to Joey or reach out to me because we've got different objectives. We've got different businesses, and we've got things that we're doing which can really help other people. And this really got me thinking, Joe, like if you're out there and you're watching this and you're not living life the way that you want to, why not you? Why not you? You can have it. Why not you? What are the choices that you're making which are holding you back? Because there are choices that are holding you back. Why not make the choices that are going to move you forward? And, we're going to get into something. I've not watched this yet, but this is from Bob Proctor's or the Proctor Gallagher Institute. It's about creating momentum for 2025. It's a 3-day event, and I think it ran from the 12th, 13th, and 14th. The link is in the description, okay? So feel free to go and watch this. It could definitely be worth your time, but we're just going to watch a little bit of it here, and we'll see what happens. Okay. So, Joe, anything you want to add before we get started?
No, Mike, just getting excited to start with the program and learn as much as I can. Hopefully apply it.
All right, listen, if you're watching live or in the replay, definitely give us your comments because we want to hear what you've got to say. And if you see me go off screen, it's probably because I've got snot coming out my nose. That's what it is. Or I'm coughing up a lung or something like that, right? So don't worry. I've got 2 bloody dogs here because I'm not in my usual place. I'm at home. We've got the Christmas tree up behind me here. We're all set up. We're looking good. And of course, I've got 2 dogs over here, which at any moment could go bananas because that's just what dogs do, right? So There may be distractions. Right, let me put this up there and let's see what this is all about. And you'll have to forgive any interruptions with the ads and stuff like that. We'll just skip them if they come up, but we're not going to worry about it. So let's check this out.
But what makes him become the person he becomes is that he becomes what he thinks about most of the time. It's as simple as that. We become what we think about most of the time. And that's the strangest secret.
Paradigm. It's a mental program that has almost exclusive control over our habitual behavior, and almost all of our behavior is habitual.
It controls almost everything we do. And so unless and until we understand that, we're not going to have a big difference in our life.
Most people tiptoe through life, hoping to make it safely to death.
Now you have to ask yourself, why is it that there's such a very small select group of people that really win? Something is in you wants to express itself in a greater way, and you're not letting it out. That some of you see yourself in positions where you can earn all kinds of money, and you may be broke. And the paradigm saying you can't do that. And so you're going to have this argument going inside. We're going to show you how things can happen where they're not supposed to happen. They're not supposed to, but they do happen. So you see, you got to go where you've never been. I sat down with one of these one day, and I said, I'm going to build a company that operates all over the world. Well, we're talking to you, and you're all over the world.
Stop reading books to get smarter. Listen to this 7-minute brain song instead. Why do people still read books?
Hello, everyone. My name is Rebecca Morgan, and I'm your host for Creating Momentum in 2025, starting now. On behalf of Sandy Gallagher and the entire team here at Proctor Gallagher Institute, a warm welcome to everyone. It's been super exciting watching as the registrations have been piling in over the last week or so from all corners of the globe. So we've got a couple of very special days ahead of us, so buckle up. Now, I first met Bob in early 1999. I was at an event where he was talking, and there was one sentence in particular that really stood out for me. He said, "It just takes one idea to create a huge quantum shift in your life." I didn't know what he was talking about, but I liked the idea of it, and I knew at that point that I was very, very desperate for change. So I committed and I decided to dive in and study everything that he and Sandy were sharing. And my life started to change dramatically. And it's been continuing on ever since. There's another quote that I have from a very dear friend of mine. He said, "Start 2025 now. If you do, you'll be 3 weeks ahead of everyone else who'll be starting January the 1st. Think about that. That special friend of mine is also one of my mentors, DP Gates, who I'm excited to share with you is our keynote speaker today. He's also one of Bob Proctor's few understudies. Now, I work with DP very closely, daily. In fact, I'm his executive assistant, and I'm not exaggerating when I say he's a gifted coach and teacher. So get a comfortable chair, grab your pen and paper, and be prepared to be uncomfortable. You're in for an amazing couple of days. Now, a couple of housekeeping items that I want to just...
Joe, just quickly on that, that one idea, in a quantum shift, and start from where you are, start before you're ready, start the new year today, whatever way you want to look at it. Just give us some points on what you think about that. One idea, to have a quantum shift. And it doesn't matter what business you're in, if you're already in business or if you're thinking about starting a business or wherever. Like, in fact, to be honest, I don't know whether you had the idea, and I'm going to keep coming back to it. I don't want to share what you did, but you did something which had an amazing effect. Do you know what I mean? For you. And that came from an idea, and you did it, and it did it. It did have a quantum shift. Like, I can see that if you continue doing that, you're going to revolutionize the way that people find out about you and what you do and how you do it. Do you know what I mean? And not only that, you're actually sharing what you were doing is you weren't sharing your information, you were sharing the industry information, and allowing them to speak on your behalf. You were just the speaker, if you like. Do you know what I mean? Or the vessel for it to come out of. And I thought that was fantastic. Now, I don't want you to get into it because I don't want you to share that idea right now, because that should just be for you and your team and everything else like this. But I'd love to get your insights on just one idea and a quantum shift. And then, of course, start before you're ready, or, start from where you are. And I see you do this every week, Joe. I see you start every week, you start again. Every day you start again. Do you know what I mean? It's not what you're doing today is not a continuation of yesterday. It's like today's a new day and you're starting again and you're prepared to try new things and do new things. You keep the things that worked, the things that didn't work, you adjust them and you move on again. Talk to me about those things, Joey.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. I think I can go back to where it started. Elle Nightingale have a very powerful 30-minute video about the strangest secret. And he have a very popular, famous quote called, "You become what you think about all day long." And when I first tap into that idea, that philosophy, I didn't really understand it, but I started to write it down as a quote, write it in a card, carry with me, and every now and then I can have a look at this powerful quote, and I get to a time that I start to realize what happened in my thinking, my attitude, my activity that I do daily and the lifestyle that I express through my daily activity, it's because of what I'm thinking all day. And if I, before I was not really thinking about abundance. I was not thinking about health. I was not thinking about helping people, or saving many. But because I tap into that powerful message and that philosophy, and I cultivate it daily. I wake up, I read it somewhere, and I wrote it down. And I think one of the things that Bob said, if you wrote, he got a piece of paper and a pen, and he wrote it down. His goal is to build a company that operates all over the world. And I think he achieved that before he passed away at 87. He was operate all over the world with his podcast, YouTube, coaching program, BGI, partnership with Santi. And that's the powerful thing. It's our thoughts become things in our life because, as we study Bob, we know we are a spiritual being living in a physical body. We have, we have mind that we think. Our thought is a very powerful concept, and we have intellectual, which we change our thought or the way we're thinking into ideas. Start to build a picture in our mind, whether we are on a holiday somewhere, or we fly somewhere, or we live somewhere, or how we contribute back to the world. And when we build that idea, and we our body, which is every being of us, we have a spirit inside of us that always have a impressed to increase and always want to expand in some way. Because it's funny because I came across a quote that called, in life either you grow or you dying. And a lot of people, they're dying, not they dead, but they breathe and still look at you, but nothing move in their life, nothing. The dream that they dream about it few years ago is still dead inside with them. They never make that dream come out and let it breathe, alive, and let it enjoy, and go and fulfill that dream that within them. So very powerful concept, and I still start to like it. I already have a one and a half page of note writing down, and the Bob quote about just take one idea to make a quantum shift in your life. So true, so true. When I take that planted seed and start planting in my thought, and my thoughts start to create the picture of what I want to look like, what I want to become, what I want to to contribute, the places that I want to go. Slowly I can see it's fruitful. It's starting to come to manifest, which is creating it in own way. And that's something that really, really, I really, really appreciated. And I think you mentioned about the changes happen in our life, and I can say that from experience. If you talked to me 4 years ago, they were totally different. I didn't have the confidence to share my idea. I didn't have the belief, the self-esteem that we talked about last week. The courage to share something with the world, and don't worry about what other people opinion. Just focus on giving goods and make life. Leave an impression of increasing other people's life. And you know what? And we are in a profession of entrepreneurship, building our own business online, traditional or untraditionally. We start to realize that we're creating instead of competing. My life before, I used to compete. I used to see other people's result, and I said, oh, they're good. I'm not good. They're better than I'm not better. And I started, and then I realized that comparison is the biggest thief of joy. But when I shift my mindset, the way I think, I am God's highest form of creation. I was born with a gift to bless the world in some shape and form. And when I start to work on develop my growth and my mindset and my self-belief, I start to have the self-worth that I deserve. I start to have the self-esteem that I need and the confidence of it. And Mike, one thing that I realize nowadays, and I think you start to painting that using my journey. I reinvented myself every single day. every day I see how can I do better. And one of our friend in our business partner is running a coaching gym business, Coach Omar. His label is 1% better every single day. And every time I look at him, he's doing something different every single day. He's showing up, sharing with the people his knowledge, his talent, his experiences, and providing value, information, and quality advice to people that he serve on his business or professional. So, Mike, I'm so excited. I'm glad that you bring this one in, because I always want to be a student. When you start to changing the way you think, you're just like a cup. And if you already empty that cup with the old traditional program that is already or old paradigm, you start to need to let go some of them that doesn't add value to you. Make space and room for the good you deserve in life. And I think Bob told that good example. If you go to your closet, start sorting out the clothes that you don't want, you don't wear, and just maybe give it away to people's and charity, and let that space, that new space, because there's a lot of good that you deserve in life. They are waiting for you to empty your cup or empty the space in your closet or inside you or your mind.
You need to make room for it, Joey, don't you? That's right. You need to make room for it.
Absolutely.
You need to make room for that new thing. It is interesting, when you were talking about Bob Proctor, and you were saying that Bob Proctor sat down and he wrote down that he was going to have this business, that was all around the world. And it's funny that, because when you do actually write down what it is that you want, you attract people into your life that can help you get that. And it just so happened, when you think that Bob Proctor was given a seminar that Sandy Gallagher attended, and Sandy Gallagher, her goal was, I want to work with this guy. And it was and it was their partnership then that led to obviously Sandy getting what she wanted by working with Bob, and Bob getting what he wanted in his goal by having a global platform. Very, very interesting that. And then you talked about Coach Omar, and Coach Omar is a great example of somebody who is giving, and the people that he's working with, he can't do it for them. They have to do it for themselves to get the result. And it's the same in your business and the same in my business. Like, you can help someone, you can guide someone, you can give someone advice, you can show them through example, but you can't do it for them. They have to be prepared and want it for themselves. And that's the importance of a goal. So, like you writing down that goal, and it is a journey, it starts, because when you start thinking, if you've been living, if you're 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old, age doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what age you are, but you've got this programming, as you talked about, you're programmed in, you're hardwired, you don't think that you can change. You think you are who you are. You think these are your strengths, these are your weaknesses, and you think that you can't get any further than where you're at. And the truth is, that's just a choice. You're just choosing to accept that. You're choosing to conform to what society says that this is what you're supposed to have. Truth is, you can have whatever you want to have. You just need to be open to receiving it. But you still have to do the work. Sometimes people think you just need to think positive thoughts, feel positive things, and you're going to get things, that you want. Truth is, hard work as well. You need to actually have desire. You need to have persistence. When the whole world is against you, if you're not pissing people off, Joey, you're not doing it right. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got to be, like, you're going to upset a few people along the way. People are going to get upset with you because they won't agree with what it is that you think that you're setting out to achieve, because they don't see your vision. People don't see what it is, until you get there. And then they're like, oh, well done. Great job. But until you get there, they think that you're crazy. Do you know what I mean? When I left construction, and went into the business that we went into, people thought I was mental. They thought I was crazy. They didn't even know what we were doing. So anyway, listen, let's get back to this. I'm going to jump forward a little bit, and we shall take a look. Let me see. Try and get out of See what this guy. Let me have a look.
Hey, business owner, stop presenting from your head. If you're in your head, you're dead. What does it mean? Most business presenters will present in their head, meaning they're thinking what they're going to say next, their energy is withdrawn within them, and they're either worried about what people are thinking about them or what they're going to say next. You've got to get into a state of flow. In fact, you've got to be in the zone of high performance.
A lot together over the last 6+ years, and I wouldn't be able to do what I do here without you. You are my right hand. I wouldn't want to do anything without you at this point. You know, become a great friend, and what you do behind the scenes makes everything I do out front much easier. And it's really
back a little bit, Joe.
For those of you who do a lot together over the last 6+.
Started, everybody. Mr. DP Gates.
This is Mr. DP.
Thank you so much, Beck. I appreciate you. You know,
are you familiar with this guy, Joe?
Yeah, I've seen him before in the BGI program, but this is the first time I hear him present.
All right, let's see what he's got to say.
We've been through a lot together over the last 6+ years, and I wouldn't be able to do what I do here without you. You are my right hand. I wouldn't want to do anything without you at this point. You know, become a great friend, and what you do behind the scenes makes everything I do out front much easier. And it's really neat for those of you that don't know to see her hosting. She's just come a long way. She's an amazing woman, and it's an honor to be working with her and Melissa, who's going to be recapping for us too. I'll talk about her later. But you know, thinking back to 2018, I came back here to work with Bob. I had a strong desire to do it. Something was pulling me to do it. I was going through a major adversity in my life. And it's funny to look back at adversities and realize it wasn't as bad as you thought it was. But, you know, I met Bob when I was 19. This is, you know, a few years ago. And I met him at a seminar because I respected my mother so much. She wanted me to go, and she sold me on it. She got me to go. And I think she might've regretted it, because I remember him saying, having a job is the worst way to make money, because you trade your time for money and you run out of time. And I accepted that idea that day. And I don't think there's anything wrong with having a job by any means. I probably should have, you know, gotten a job many times, but it changed the trajectory of my entire future. My kids weren't even born yet. And several years later, you know, I got into his mentorship and eventually became, you know, an understudy to him. And we're traveling North America and staying at his home and speaking on stage, teaching the science of getting rich with him, which came full circle there. But he changed my life, you know, in such a great way. And, you know, I went on to do other things, as Beck said, and came back here in 2018 through tough circumstances. But this environment, it helps speed up the process, you know, being around the right people and getting the right direction. And that's what it's all about. And, you know, 2019 was a pivotal year, because Beck and I, towards the end of the year, as people would slow down, you know, I studied people that would speed up and the successful people who made it happen. And they did it like Bob did, like in a calm, confident way with just massive urgency. You know, he never was in a hurry, never. And he taught me so much there. But that 2019 year, we just made a committed decision and really implemented all these things we're going to talk about over the next 2 days. Very important things to listen to learn, and to go out and implement and experiencing them. And because we finished so strong and finished at the top of our game across the board, 2020 was the best year of my life, you know, and I've had great years since then too, but up until that point. And it was all because we created momentum leading into the end of the year versus waiting and hoping to create momentum in January like everybody else does. So we'll talk about all this stuff. But what I want to do is I want to lay the foundation, as we did at our last event, and people seem to really enjoy this. There's a 10-minute video I want us all to watch, and it's Bob talking about goals. And he taught me so much about goals. And anytime I was stuck, anytime I was complacent, he would always go back and say, you don't have a goal. And I'm sure many of you have heard him say that, or many of you that have worked with Bob, he's told you that. And your goal was never big enough. He always wanted you to stretch you. But this will be a great way to lay the foundation for the next 10 minutes. So watch this video and come back with me. And I'm going to dive into talking about some things that are closely tied to goals, like vision, values, and standards. So let's enjoy Bob here, and I'll see you back in about 10 minutes.
All right, Joe, just before we get into this video, which we will watch in the entirety of it, what do you reckon to that, leading into the year? Do you know what I mean? As opposed to waiting for the year to end and then saying, right, let's go. Let's set our goals now. We're in January. Where am I going to be? Like we're in the middle of December. Like we've got 2 weeks left before the end of the year. It is the middle of December, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Yeah, the 15th. It's really the middle of December. Like you could actually do some, vision work now. You could do some vision. You could create a vision board. You were kind of mentally talking about it there just a moment ago. Visualizing it and seeing it, picturing it. You could do that now for, milestones throughout the year where you want to be around Easter. I think you've got something coming up as well. I think you're starting a 90-day run at the beginning of the year as well, aren't you? You're doing something like that. Don't forget, mention that. People are going to want to hear about that for sure. And don't forget, reach out, go and find Joey. Let me see. We've got his, let me find, where is it? Right. Obviously, you can go and find Joey here on Facebook, Joey Younger. And you definitely want to go here, right? If you're watching now or live or on the replay, go here. Go to Joey Younger's Facebook page. And I want you to, I should really pull it up. And I want you to read the CEO Weekly article that has been done for Joey on there about his story. Like the truth is, like Joey's got an incredible story. Like there's certain qualities that Joey has which you can never take away from him. His determination, his desire, his love of family and things like this, his connection to his ancestors, to where he comes from, his roots. Can't take that out of him, But Joey's had to rechannel his energy, just rechannel it. He hasn't lost any of those things. And that's what I've seen from you, Joey, is all of those things you were doing before that put you in a hospital bed. Do you know what I mean? There's no doubt about it. They did put you in a hospital bed where you woke up and you haven't changed. You just refocus, you just reshaped your energy into doing it in a different way. All of those things still exist. All of the reasons why you're doing it are still the reasons why you're doing it, but you're just doing it in a different way, which is giving you better freedom, better health, better lifestyle, better everything. Do you know what I mean? And a better, like, to be honest, you were working yourself into an early grave the way you were doing it before. How many people are out there who are doing that the same, who are doing that now? That all they need to do is just change, have that quantum shift that we were talking about a moment ago, Joey, with just one idea. And I think that if you're watching this now or on the replay, you want to go to Joey's website, go to his Facebook page, read that CEO Weekly article, and you'll get some ideas there. And maybe one of those ideas might be to reach out to Joey and find out how he can help you have that quantum shift in 2025, starting now in December 2024. And of course, you can find me on Facebook at The Real Mick McQuillan. And again, reach out to me. I'm happy to help, happy to give you any guidance or any support, share a little bit about what I do, and of course, what you can expect working with me. I'm not as nice as Joey. Joey's really nice and calm and easygoing, I'm only joking, Joey. Anyway, but yeah, so what was I talking about? We're talking about the, starting now before the end of the year, focusing now on, I'm not waiting really. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Micah, thinking we can close the show now because you already wrap up everything. So I'm grateful for that. Hey, Micah, when I started my journey back after 2020, when I had my medical condition that threatened my life, I make a decision to change and, getting better. And one of the things I started reading books and start to follow, events. And one of them was one of the workshop like this that we are watching tonight. And, what I learned and I follow when I started follow successful people, what they did, Mike, they, instead of slowing down when come to end of the year, they level up, they speed up. And I like how DB Kate, revealed that with Bob. Bob was, not show a sign of hurry or something like that, but he just calmness and collective, but he's always in a sense of urgency. We use that a lot in the army. He's always told us that, train us to always move with a sense of urgency, because what I found with successful people, they always on the go. They always speed up, when other people slow down. And I make a committee decision that next year, I'm already work on it on my 90 days day runs, which is a 3 month of, full throttle. I was on the plane a few days and take off and landing, and I take some picture and some video, and it always remind me of how our life is when we are on the driveway or the runway of the airport, which is like a airplane. If you want to take off, we have to give 100% throttle. Otherwise, the plane won't take off. It won't take off with 1%. It won't take off with 10% or 90%. It has to be 100% for the plane to take off. Otherwise, it will still running around and steady around in the runway. So a lot of things that we learn from successful people, and I think one of the things that I'm happy to say that with the people that I come in contact, when you start to surround yourself with successful people, you are looking, it's kind of like you have a shortcut for life, and because you can learn from their, it's called OPE, which are other people experiences. You can learn from their fail. You can learn from what they learn and adjust. It's better for them to increase their. But I'm looking forward for this session, because Bob talked about the goals, and goals all start with goals. Elle Nightingale talked about it in the Strangest Secret. The difference between successful people and not successful people, they do have goals, and goal is something that you have to be clear about it, because that's the picture. Imagine that's the picture of the house you want to live, the place you want to travel, the family that you want to have, or whatever thing that you want. But you have to have a clear goal in life, because it's just like a ship. If you put a ship without a captain or without a crew and a plan and a destination to go to, it will drift it and end up a shipwreck somewhere. But if you do have a goals in life, whether it's in business or personal health or whatever you want to achieve in life, when you have a clear picture of that goal, cultivate it every single day. You wake up with it, you go to sleep with it, pray for it, ask God for a little help, and ask other people, to and watching our program. And I think that's part of the thing that we are excited. We turn up when we are not feeling well. You turn up tonight and you're not feeling well, but because you want to add that value so we can change someone instead of 2024, moving into 2025 with a big shift in mindset, momentum, and speed, because we want everyone to win in life. Because there's that the enjoyment of doing something together and you see other people win, that's the reward that is out performance, the physical reward like money or income that we strive to pursue it in life.
Absolutely, Joey. And what I would say is that if somebody wanted to start a challenge right now, to bring them into the new year, to create a new mindset for themselves going into the new year and create a new momentum for themselves, is to go onto YouTube and search Earl Nightingale, The Strangest Secret. And that you can actually do a 30-day challenge on that and listen to that every day for 30 days. Listen to it in the morning and listen to it again in the evening when you go to bed. And to be honest, don't think that won't change your mind, because it will change your mind. It will raise your awareness to how you think, how you feel, and what you think, and what you believe, and you'll see new possibilities. So look, I'm going to throw the gauntlet down to anybody who wants it. Find that go to YouTube, find Earl Nightingale, The Greatest Secret, and, do that as a 30-day challenge. Listen to it morning and evening. And, look, I guarantee by the time January 1st comes around, you'll be ready to hit the ground running to do any. In fact, to be honest, give it a week and you'll be like, right, okay, I want to get started. Because you're going to want to do something. You're going to want to be moving forward. You're going to want to, start to build, because you'll see it in your mind. And that's what that video that we play at the beginning and we play at the end, where Bob talks right at the very end, where he talks about the dreamers of the day. He's talking about those people who are living their vision, who have created that vision in their mind, and they are living their vision. They are walking the talk, and that's what we want to do. So I'm sure, look, maybe you're already doing what you're doing and you love doing it, but you could probably get better at it, right? You could probably excel at it. You could probably go up another level, So, and that's really what it's about. So look, find that. I'm throwing this challenge down to everybody. Find that. I should really get it and put it in the description. I might do that after. Earl Nightingale's Greatest Secret, 30-day challenge, morning and night time. Listen to it and create some momentum. Right, let's get back to this. We'll watch this video, Joe. Will we?
Yep.
Right. See you on the other side.
Now look here. People set goals, they usually set an A-type goal. And that is because they know how to do it. They'll have a goal to get a car. They've had new cars off and on for years.
Proctor,
they know how to do that. That's not a goal. Or they may graduate and they do something what they think they can do. I think I can do this. If this happens, if that happens. These are hidden little things, and it's not the way to go about a goal at all. You see, whatever your heart's desire is up here waiting for you. You name it and claim it. See, the fact that you can think it, it's there. Thought is the preamble to everything. If you can think it, you can do it. Now, religious leaders, philosophers have been telling us that for a long time, but I don't think we understood it. We've got to realize that thinking is the highest function that we're capable of. And you're going to ask yourself, well, what am I actually doing? There's a power that's flowing to and through us. You can actually photograph this power leaving your body. It's energy. It's pure unadulterated spirit. And it has no direction. When it flows into our consciousness and we think, we're given a direction. Now, unfortunately, most people are in the habit of thinking the same way about the same things over and over again. What we want to do is stop. Say, I'm going to think differently about that. I'm going to think I can do it faster and then figure out how to do it. I'm going to think I can earn that much in a week and then figure out how to do it. I can earn more money in an hour now than I used to be able to earn in a year. Same guy. Same mind, it's just that the awareness have changed. And as your awareness changes, your life changes. As your awareness changes, the vibration that you're in changes. Vibration is the law of the universe. The law of vibration decrees, everything moves, nothing rests. We literally live in an ocean of motion. That wall is moving right now. You say it doesn't look like it's moving to me. Get a microscope and go and look at it. And you'll see a mass of molecules dancing right before your eyes. Well, this instrument you're living in, this body, it's moving. It's moving so fast it appears to be still. But when this energy flows in and we think, that controls the vibration we're in. You think bad thoughts, you'll move into a bad vibration. Think good thoughts, you'll move into a good vibration. Now, whatever frequency you're on or whatever vibration you're in, it's going to dictate what you attract. Attraction is a secondary law. The primary law is vibration. Well, you can control the vibration you're in, and you just want to get in a good vibration, you're just going to attract nothing but good stuff to you. So you see yourself with what you want, you put yourself on that frequency when you do that. Everything operates on different frequencies. And what we want to realize is that whatever our heart's desire is, it's here. Where do you think everything came from? I get a little microphone stuck in the knot in my tie. It'll amplify my voice, and everybody can hear it clear. I have a little flipper here. There's no wires on it, but I touch it, and the screen changes. Boom. You see? It's like magic. When I started these seminars, I had a big chalkboard in the front of the room. And I had to have all kinds of chalk and all kinds of wet cloths and dry cloths. And I'd put an idea on the chalkboard, and then I'd have to wash it and dry it, and then do another one. Now, boom, I just touch a button, like it. Why? Someone figured out how to do this. And that's what you want to do, and that's what I want to do. We want to stretch. We want to stretch. Let's make up our mind that we're going to stretch. The number of people that really stretch are few and far between. We're talking about a very small percentage of the population. Most of us have been raised with the idea it's better to be safe than sorry. That is not so. That is a crock. It's not better to be safe than sorry. Yeah, you may go after things and you might lose a lot of money, you might be embarrassed, but at least you give it a shot. I could tell you all kinds of stories that would spoil your week where I lost, where it didn't work out. But there's more stories on how it did work out, because I wouldn't let that stop me. I just kept going. I kept going because I mixed with the right people, I read the right books, and I listened to the right recordings. Let's make up our mind, regardless of what you've been doing in the past, you're going to stretch. You're going to make some things happen in your life that are very big and very beautiful. Now, Robert Heinlein wrote this in a book, Strangers in a Strange Land. He was a science fiction writer back in the 60s. He said, in absence of clearly defined goals, we become strangely loyal to performing daily trivia until ultimately we become enslaved by it. Have you any idea the number of people that are just sitting playing, I don't know, some game on a computer? They're talking about nothing. Do you know that they're in the majority? They really are. I call it the chatter of the masses. If you happen to be caught up in that, make up your mind that that's going to stop right now.
I was going into another dimension, which turned out to be another universe, where I was already a fantastically successful photographer.
Now, there's two things you have to know if you want to create wealth. And I'm not going to give you a brain hernia. This is really simple stuff. One, you've got to know where you are. Two, you've got to know where you're going, and then you got to get moving. This is where I am, that's where I'm going. You can know where you're going. If you don't know where you're at, it won't do you any good. Let's suppose you jump out of a plane and shoot safely to Earth. It's overcast, can't see the stars. You know you're on the North American continent, that's all you know. You don't know where you are. Your objective is to get to Nacogdoches, Texas. What way are you going to start walking? You wouldn't know. You could be in Atlanta and start to head towards Philadelphia. You could be in Seattle and start toward Vancouver. You see, you can know where you're going. If you're not honest to yourself where you're at, you're wasting your time. You've got to know where you're at. And you've got to know where you're going, and then you've got to get moving in that direction. It is so simple and so obvious, you have to ask yourself, why, if that's all why are so many people stuck? And I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of people stuck. Well, for a long time, I would have said, there's what's missing. Don't have a goal. Got to have a goal. I've had a goal and had it on a card for many, many years, ever since I started Think and Grow Rich. You got to have a goal. But you know, I've changed my attitude. I think now I'm pretty articulate about my goal. I've got it written out and got a clear picture of it. You might not have done that But I think we can say there's something you want. You've never written it out, not really been very articulate about it, but there is something you want. So we could say that would constitute the goal. That's not the problem. That is not the problem. Here's the problem right here. It's where you're at. Most people really don't know. Do you know what you do? Do you know why you do it? Do you know how you do it? Do you know how often you do it? Can you see where this is really controlling your life? This is really important. There's the problem right there. The paradigm. Because if you want something more than you've got to give more than you're giving. You got to do more than you're doing. And you start doing that, you'll move ahead like a rocket. No one knows what you're capable of doing. There isn't one soul alive that knows what you're capable of doing, and that includes you. We're dealing with infinite potential. We've got power within us that, it goes beyond the scope of our imagination. I was talking about the chicken soul for the soup books. Mark has just put out a new book with his wife, Crystal, and it's called Ask. That's it. Ask. That's the name of the book. And it's the bridge that'll take you from where you are to your destiny. Now, that book will probably sell a few million copies. Ask. That's what most people don't do. They don't ask. They don't ask for enough. When you take a look and think, all I have to know is where I am and where I'm going, and then realize that very few people have this down. And very few people, maybe 5 people out of 100. 95 out of 100 have not got this figured out. The paradigm is controlling them, literally controlling them. It's not the opportunity's there.
This is Amazon's new money-making app. Let me show you how it works. That app is called Audible. It's created.
Nobody, in my biased opinion, teaches better than Bob.
All right, Joe, unmute yourself there. I thought that was very interesting. You've got to know where you are and know where you've got to go. There's no doubt that's true. Do you know what I mean? The challenge is, how do you get out of where you are? When I think about, certainly in my business, I can sometimes, I think that, like I'm a business owner. Sometimes I think that the business owns me, because of all of the daily things that you need to do. And I think Bob talked about this before, that, if you've got your own business and you have to do everything, really what you've got is just a job. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes I feel like that, because you've got so many things that you have to do, so many administration tasks that have to get done every day, so many different things that need to get done. And, like it can be challenging, because if they don't get done, who's gonna do them? And again, you still want these different directions and different growths that you want to go into, but how do you change? How do you actually, knowing where you are, knowing where you want to go, how do you course correct, Joey? How do you do that? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you can hear me.
Yeah, loud and clear.
Yeah, I remember Bob thought that the rocket that first went to the moon, it went straight. What happened? It went out of course all the time, but it correct. The computer and the people, the crew inside were working to make sure it's come back to its own course. So it didn't go, straight up to the moon. It went sideways, but keep correcting back to the course. And with the entrepreneur, in my personal opinion, I learned well from Eric Worre. He taught a concept called plan to review. You planned, thinking about what you want to do. You're setting your goals and stuff like that. and then setting what you're gonna activity that you're gonna do to move you to wet your goals, and then you start to doing it. You do the plan, and when you do the plan, some of them doesn't work. And you and I realize in our professional in network marketing, a lot of activity that we do, because we want to strive to progress. And even though we want to be perfect as part of our human being, we always want to make sure we are ready. We study the knowledge before we go out and talk to people. We make sure we study our product, our compensation plan before we go and talk to people. But we realize that successful people, they're just in the momentum. So they be in a hurry, make the decision, set a simple goal, whether it's to get from A to B, and then they start hitting the road and digging and talk to people and start the conversation that build a momentum. And when that momentum is built, they might get some result, they might get some no's a lot, as we experience our objection, but then they come back and didn't stay with it. Bob said in his sharing, in his journey, it was not perfect all the way to the end. He went through some adversity, some hardship in life, and rejection, but he doesn't stay there because he knew where he's going. And that's the very importance of why setting goals, know where you are. And I think I learned that very quickly when I realized, okay, 4 years ago, I had my health check, and that's where I was. I know my health was not in a good shape. I know my mind, the way I think was not in a good shape. My attitude to myself, to my family, to my work, to my my future was not what I want. But then I want to change it. And then I started reading the books. I started following good leaders. I started to be in a mastermind. People like yourself and and other leaders in our community. That helped me adjust and correct me to stay back in the course. And I learned in our professional, if you don't stay close to the fire, you will get cold and you will quit. And the people that you start with them, they will go ahead and get some momentum because they never give up. They just never want to get off from the fire. They just want to stay close. Doesn't matter what result they have now. They just want to keep learning, still be a student, keep inventing themselves, and want to do better, and just keep going. That's my personal opinion on that. And Bob said, the problem is the way you think right now. A lot of people watching this still stay in the old paradigm. You are not good enough. I'm come from the island, and I share. I'm coming from the island because I want to be real to the people. I'm just an island boy, and you are the one who told me, Joey, you can take the boy out from the island, but the island value still with the boy everywhere he goes. And that's what I share with my follower, my people in our community. I'm just an ordinary person. I'm just like you and me. We all come from the island, want to have a better life in Australia or overseas. And when we find something in life, and I find something in life, I realize I don't have to keep it for myself. The way I can move forward in life and success is by how many people I can help in my journey. And you understand in our professional, our paycheck, our income is the true reflection of how many people we make an impact in their life. Because when they success, we know we are going to success.
All right, Joe. As usual, every week, I love to get your final thoughts. So give me your final thoughts on creating momentum for 2025.
Thank you, Mike. Final thought, you are what you think about all day long. As I shared before, when I first start, all I think about the debt. I think about all my bills. I think about all my lacking. I think about all my, the thing that I make mistake. And you know what happened to me? I start to experience a mistake in my life. I start to experience the debt is going up and up. It doesn't, my health. I keep telling myself I'm unhealthy. I'm unhappy. But now, when I start to have the awareness, understand where you are, and you do that by have an honest opinion with yourself, have a honest review of where you currently sit now, where you currently live now. Are you happy with where you are? Are you happy with the current income you got now? Are you happy with the way you support your family? When you understand that, then start thinking. When you start thinking, your attitude start to change. And when your attitude start to change, because you have started thinking about positive things, you start about thinking about a healthy lifestyle. You start to think about, have a better career, better income, source of income. You start to attract those kind of things into your life. You start to attract good people that they will come in and enjoy and help you, achieve or move your life towards your goals. And, Bob talked about it, is the paradigm shift, where you are now and where you want to go. For example, if I want to fly from Sydney to Perth, I have to know I am in Sydney. I have to go from Sydney to Perth, and I have to find a vehicle to go there. How can I fly? I can go by road. I can go by train. I can go by flying, or I can jump on a ferry or a cruising to go to that destination. But your awareness tells you what is the better way, what is the best way. That's why I choose to fly, because not only only take a few hours to get there, I can go and enjoy what I want to enjoy, and also what sort of business I want to do there. I want to do it quickly so I can come back to my family. So awareness is very important, for when things happen in our life, like with all the problems with disease, and also the economic crisis, in debt. If you don't have the awareness that this is my life now, how can I improve from there, what I really want, and start working on it, you won't be able to move ahead, move forward, but you end up staying in the same situation. You don't know you are in a prison unless you have the awareness that you are, and start digging. So a lot of people, when they have that kind of mindset shift, when they understand they're living in the prison of working for income every single day, and they make the shift, they start digging, they start working on themselves. And when they start working on themselves, at first it was hard, but then all of a sudden they hit some goal, they hit some some winning, and then they feel good. Their morale is uplifting, and they start to believe in themselves, because they learn some new skill, they build their confidence, they build their self-esteem, and they think, I can do this. And that's when the momentum is coming. And we talk about moving to 2025, building a momentum to 2025. A lot of people, they're waiting until after New Year to have a new resolution. I and myself and Mike and the people that we're talking about tonight encourage you, start today. If you want the plane, your plane, economical plane, your health plane to start lifting now in 2025, start warming up the engine, start working on the fuel, put the right fuel into the plane, put the right course into the plane, and set the course. Put the right pilot, the right driver, put the right people to work with you. Because 2025, if you do it right now, I always said the best time in the Chinese proverb to plant an apple was 20 years ago. The next best time was right now, right here. So to build a momentum for 2025, you can change it. Take cut, take cold, believe in yourself, and plan to review everything you do. Take cut, take cold. Have a wonderful day. And, Mike McLean, thank you very much for the time and opportunity to share the love. And I want to finalize with, I'm very grateful that you share my journey with the article of the CEO Weekly in America. I have to declare, and also, how do you go? It's like when you spill the bean or something like that. My second article is coming very, very soon. How I struggle and network marketing found me, and how it's changed the way I live now. the way I show up every single day. So it's coming up very, very soon. Is everything they just need to do a few touch up on the magazine cover and also the article. So it's coming up. Very exciting to share that with you.
Excited to see it. Excited to see it, Joey. Well done. Well done. Good job. And I love that. Get your engines warmed up. And, listen, Joey's right. Get your engines warmed up. And your engine is that 6 inches between your ears. Start thinking. And of course, look, I put in the comments, there's the link for The Stranger's Secret. By all means, take on that challenge, and watch that every morning, every night. Put it on. Let it sink into your subconscious mind. Change the way you think, because that's where it starts. I talk a lot, Joey, about that that quote that I have, that Buckminster Fuller quote that I have on my wall. You can't you can't change something by fighting the existing reality. To change something, you need to build a new model that makes the old model obsolete. And when I think about the model, I think about how I think. I think my model of thinking, right? I've got this model of thinking. I think the same way every day. I think the same way all of the time. How do you break that habit? And the way you break that habit is by changing how you think. Well, that Earl Nightingale, The Stranger's Secret, can start to interrupt those patterns that you maybe have and change the way you think, and to break the old model, to build a new model. And Joey's absolutely right. You build that self-confidence, you build that self-esteem, you build that vision in your mind to where you start to believe, I can achieve this, I can do this. And trust me, there will be people who will try and pull you back, but there'll be more people that will say, you can do it. We believe in you, and you'll get results. Like even in my business, Joe, like I said to my wife, Kate, we have more failure every day than we have success. We get more rejection every day than we do yeses, but it's not, the rejection is just a stepping stone to that success. That's all it is. It always makes me laugh, because we're all afraid of people saying no to us and everything else. And then I once heard somebody, I don't know whether it was Linda Proctor who said this. I can't remember who exactly it was, but you never see a waiter or a waitress, come up after the main course of you've had your dinner, and they say, oh, would you like any dessert? And you go, oh no, I think I'm okay. You don't see them crying. You don't see that. Oh, they don't break into tears and go, oh my God, I can't believe it. You don't want any dessert. And then they can never do waitressing again or waitering again because they're so upset by someone saying no to them. No, it's just a part of life, right? Sometimes people want what you've got. Sometimes they don't want what you've got. And, the truth is, the stats are really, really simple. Out of every 10 people, one person will, one person won't. The other 8 in the middle will or won't, depending on how you present your message to them. You've got to be dealing, I'm talking about, people who are ready for change. Not everybody's ready for change. So it's about getting in front of the right people. Joey's a master at it. Joey's learned some new techniques this week, which I'm excited to see how they're working out. I think, to be honest, Joey, I'm in awe of what you did there the other week. I don't even think you realize what you've done. I think you've done something which is literally going to change, which has changed the model. Do you know what I mean? It has, from what I've seen. Because I was doing something yesterday and I thought, I wonder, can I do what Joey did yesterday? I thought, no, I can't do that, not yet. Do you know what I mean? Because I was so sick yesterday. I couldn't be on Facebook and be listening to something like that. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just so impressed with what you did. Anyway, look, we'll finish it there. Great show tonight, Joe. Don't forget, do the 30-day challenge with the Earl Nightingale, The Stranger's Secret. Hopefully my voice will be back to normal next week. Well, I kind of like it. It sounds great. It's a little bit different.
Sounds sexy.
I'll probably cough up a lung or something, But anyway, listen, great show. And look.
Thanks, man.
As Joey says, get it done. That's what Joey says. Get it done. Right? And don't forget, you can find Joey here at Joey Unger, facebook.com/Joey.Unger. Go and check out his article, for CEO Weekly. And make sure to like and subscribe to Joey so that you can see when his new article goes up there. I definitely want to see that. Joey's going places. And of course, you can follow me. I'm hanging on to Joey's coattails. So you can always follow me here at Real Mick McQuillan, the Real Mick McQuillan, Facebook.com. And of course, look, we're excited, for 2025. We're not even finished with 2024 yet. But, I'm super excited about what's going to happen in 2025. Like believe it or not, I was lying in bed this morning just visualizing, doing things, do you know when you're in that, Joey, when you're in that you're not awake, but you're not asleep, but you're in that in between. And I'm in that in between and I'm thinking about that. And that's when you know that is really planted in the subconscious mind. Do you know what I mean? And your actions then are going to start to move in that direction, So I'm super excited about that. I'm super excited about what's going to happen. I think it's going to be an exciting year for a lot of people. And do you know what I'm more excited about, Jerry? Is the difference that it's going to make for other people. Not the difference that it'll make for me. It's the difference that it will make for other people. Because that's really where it's at. It's how, and, look, that's your focus. I know it is. Anyway, listen, we'll probably do another show all about that. But listen, look, see you guys next week. And we'll play out with this video. This video is so important. And you probably think I'm sick of watching this video at the beginning and at the end and everything else. But I guarantee, look, if you just listen to this, listen to the words, just stop and listen to the words, right? Because it is magnetic and it can change. This is really where it's at. If you want to change your life, if you can dream it, you can do it. But it starts with how you think. Right, listen, good luck and we'll see you later.
You see, we are created in a magnificent vibration, in an absolutely magnificent vibration. Born risk takers. Free. That conditioning takes place after birth. You can change it. It takes guts. It takes goals. How do you know something? You're sitting there watching this and you're thinking, by God, I'm going to change something. Now we say, keep reminding yourself that you have tremendous reservoirs of potential within you, and therefore you are quite capable of doing anything you set your mind to. You really can. I don't care what the cynics tell you. Quit listening to some of your peers. Now all you must do is figure out how you can do it, not whether you can or not. When are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? You've got to create a sense of urgency. I'm going to do it right now.
If you can see it, you can do it. But the beautiful truth is you can do anything. We got to know there is a place. There is a specific frequency. And if you get on that frequency, you're going to attract what you need to you. This is what it's all about. Why have you been endowed with such awesome powers? If you'll make a committed decision, this I'm going to do. And you don't have to know how. You do not have to know how. The second you make the committed decision, you flip your brain onto the frequency that you have to be on to attract what you have to attract to manifest the thing that you want. If you can see it, you can do it. It's got to be something you want. Wants come from inside. Act like you're already there. Walk, talk, speak, live like you're already there. Don't set a small goal. Don't set something that doesn't really wind your stem. Set it so big it jazzes you. It really gets you going. When something of a very high nature resonates with the very high side of you, you'll know it. You'll know it. You will feel it. Feeling is conscious awareness of vibration. The only prerequisite, do you want it? Not do you need it, not could you do it. The only prerequisite is, do you want it? Take the lid off your marvelous mind and dream. For goodness sake, give yourself the right to do that. Get your analytical mind out of the way. Put it in your pocket for a while. All you're doing is exploring, daydreaming. What did Lawrence say? All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their mind waken the day to find that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men. for they may act their dream with open eyes to make it possible. This I did.